In my last video, I talked about William Hinman, a former SEC chairman, who Ripple was actually trying to go after to get a deposition from, get an interview from, to ask him some very important questions that they're going to be able to use during this case against the SEC. Well, according to Jeremy Hogan, who's an outside attorney following this case, he feels that because of Judge Netburn's history in some of the other cases, that William Hinman will be deposed by Ripple's attorneys. Now, there's a couple of things that they can and cannot ask in a deposition. So we're going to talk about what information Ripple may actually go after. We now have El Salvador that made a Bitcoin legal tender. The country of Paraguay is now second in line. They put a proposal out there to make Bitcoin legal tender in their country as well. And earlier today, Tanzania became yet another country on the Bitcoin radar as the president told the Central Bank of Tanzania, prepare for cryptocurrency. Also, Ripple's lead attorney spoke out. He gave a full interview, and he said something really interesting that was actually pointed towards the rest of the crypto industry. I'm going to tell you what that is in this video. And also, right now is a very important inflection point in terms of pricing of Bitcoin. Right now, it's been fluctuating at about 30,000 as I'm recording this video. It's just under 31,000. I'm going to see if it actually hits that 28.8 mark, which it did just a few days ago, which if you believe the Wyckoff model, that was actually supposed to be the spring point, meaning the price of Bitcoin and really the market cap of the whole crypto community was supposed to, in theory, is supposed to climb from there. Well, it did climb, but now it's back down. So I'm going to see by the end of this video if we're down close to that 28.8 mark. I'm going to tell you what can happen if it springboards off of that $30,000 number, or if it continues to go lower, based on some technical analysis that I watch on a daily basis. And what's that going to mean for XRP? And while this video is playing, I want you guys to do something. Go in the comments section below and let me know a question that you guys would ask William Hinman if you got to depose him. If you were sitting next to Ripple's attorneys, what questions would you ask William Hinman? Let's flood the comment section with those questions. I know there's going to be some good ones. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. On this channel, I'm covering the SEC versus Ripple because it's an extremely important case in the crypto ecosystem. I also cover other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any of those topics interest you, make sure you're subscribed. Just click that subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon so YouTube will notify you when I release a new video. And as always, if you're feeling really generous, I greatly appreciate it. If you go ahead and click the thumbs up button, it helps out with that YouTube algorithm, helps YouTube to share this video with new audiences. All right, guys, well, let's jump into it. So first, we're going to start off with Ripple's lead defense attorney gave a full interview, was asked a bunch of questions about his history, what he thinks about the case with the SEC right now. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was that he said this case isn't just about Ripple. That yes, I mean, of course it's about Ripple and what that could mean for the XRP token, but this is really much bigger than Ripple. He said, we're actually fighting for the crypto industry as a whole. And one of the reasons that I cover this story so much on this channel is because it has so much of an effect, or could have so much of an effect, on the rest of the crypto ecosystem based on what this outcome could be. Now, if it's a settlement, there might not be the regulatory clarity that Brad Garlinghouse was searching for, who's the CEO of Ripple. And if they would lose, that could be catastrophic for the rest of the cryptocurrency world, especially Ethereum, which, if you watched my last video, the SEC clearly states that there has been no decision on whether the sales of Ether was actually determined to be not a security or a security or not, which means Ether could be on the chopping block. And that is why I'm covering this case, because there's far-reaching implications. And Ripple's lead defense attorney was basically reaching out and saying, listen, whether you like XRP token, whether you like the XRP token or not, for this reason or that reason, this fight is really for the entire crypto community as a whole. And like I mentioned earlier, the rest of the crypto world, the Bitcoin world, is actually not doing too bad. El Salvador is now making Bitcoin its legal tender. Paraguay is up next. They're trying to make it legal tender. Tanzania, just earlier today, the president of Tanzania told the central banks, prepare for cryptocurrency. Not necessarily that it's going to make Bitcoin legal tender in short order. I mean, it could, but basically he was telling their central banks, listen, we need to prepare for cryptocurrency, whether it's making it legal tender or just something to be prepared to be able to work with within our country. Because I think some of these countries making Bitcoin a backup legal tender, it's really the domino effect. You're going to see a whole bunch of probably smaller, especially South American countries, jump on this in short order. Okay, so now we're going to get into the Ripple case with William Hinman, otherwise known as Bill Hinman, who is the former SEC attorney that is going to be questioned by Ripple. Now, of course, the SEC came in and said, no, we're asking the judge to not let Ripple subpoena this guy because of X, Y, and Z for several different reasons, much of which Ripple has already prepared for. Jeremy Hogan, who is another outside attorney covering this case, he mentioned in one of his previous videos that when he was looking over all of the documents that Ripple was submitting, it looks like they created this back in January, where basically they had all of this stuff prepared, knowing that at some point they were going to depose Bill Hinman and the SEC was going to fight back, because Ripple already had these documents pretty well put together. And what he did was look at Judge Netburn's history and some of the cases where she looked at high-ranking officials and if they were allowed to be subpoenaed and deposed. And based on her history and some of the things that she's determined, Jeremy Hogan thinks that she will grant access to Ripple to actually go after and question Bill Hinman. Now, this is going to be huge. But listen, this is really important because they're actually not allowed to ask about certain things. So right now, one of the things that is essentially off limits when deposing government officials or regulators is basically you can't ask about their thought process or how they came to a decision on something. Now, if Ripple could actually get their hands on the communications that the SEC and all the regulating agencies sent back and forth to each other like the judge told them to, they might be able to put get two and two together and have a stronger case. But as of right now, the one thing that Ripple is absolutely going to use, and what the SEC was trying to kind of brush under the rug, was the speech that William Hinman gave about Ethereum, essentially saying that based on what we know now, Ethereum is not a security. Well, that was essentially the pass that was given to Ethereum back then. But the SEC came out and said, well, we haven't actually officially decided anything on Ethereum. So essentially, they're still on the chopping block. But now that that speech was actually made, everything he said in that speech is allowed to be discussed and questioned by Ripple. So whatever comments and statements he made then is absolutely fair game. I'm personally really looking forward to when those documents come out and what is actually going to be said. All right, I'm going to wrap up this video by talking about, well, it looks like as of right now, Bitcoin's still just under 31,000. So everybody's talking about a bull market or a bear market with Bitcoin, with all the cryptocurrencies going on right now. And some of the speculation is that if this trading is actually following the Wyckoff model, which it has essentially to a T for the last 2 to 3 months, which basically says that the technical indicators that are happening right now, a couple of days ago when Bitcoin dropped down to 28.8 very briefly and spiked back up, that was essentially the spring point, meaning it followed the Wyckoff model to a T, it hit the spring point, and the price was going to go up from there. Now, looking at the model and what the Bitcoin price was at, my prediction is that if it's going to follow that model, it's going to have to go up to 42, 43, 44,000. It will then come back to retest a support level, which used to be a resistance level, which will probably be around 37, 38, 39. And if it does that, the next portion of the wave is basically straight up. But the only thing is, with this bull run, it's a little bit different than the 2013 bull run and the 2017 bull run, because everything seems to be a little more stretched out during this bull run, including the run up and even the little pullback has been lasting for months, whereas other bull runs, anytime it had a pullback like that, it was a drastic, sharp cutoff and only lasted for a week or two. If that's the case, then you can absolutely be looking at the price predictions for XRP to be in that $12 to $35 range by the end of the year, assuming they get out of this SEC case like they're supposed to. If Bitcoin drops below 28.8 and stays there and drops even lower, many now say the next level is 25,000 for Bitcoin, and that would probably put XRP in the neighborhood of about 45 to 50 cents. So if you got some extra cash laying around, that might be a good time to buy that dip. The only downside is if we're in fact going to enter that long several year period of a bear market, it's going to be a long time to hold on to a 40 or 50 cent XRP, but that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this deposition that looks like it could happen to William Hinman, and what questions would you ask William Hinman? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, thanks for watching again all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next one.